In this section, section 5.4, we're going to be adding and subtracting two separate polynomials. And they describe this as, they give two different techniques. One, they say add horizontally, add vertically. They're pretty much the same thing. It's not really, there's not much difference between the two techniques. So let me just show you the way they describe the horizontal. Add these two together. Okay, we'll do. First thing you're going to do is write the polynomials out on your sheet of paper. Okay, that's one polynomial. There's like a set of parentheses here, because one thing that you're going to have to understand with pluses and minuses is that pluses and minuses bind terms together as one big unit. See, inside this unit there's three terms, and the way you represent a unit is with a set of parentheses. You're going to add to that unit another unit, which is, I call these units bundles, because these pluses and minuses bundle the units together. Okay, and so these terms get bundled together as one big unit, I should say. And the idea here is, well, okay, ultimately, to add or subtract polynomials, you want to combine like terms. But to combine like terms, what you need to do is say, well, when you have a bundle like this with the parentheses, this set of parentheses really isn't necessary. I can remove them because there's no number multiplying. There's no number like the number 2 multiplying through. They're only there to indicate that that's one unit, and that unit represents a polynomial. So I'm going to get rid of that. Okay? So I'm going to just write that. And I need to liberate these terms. That's why. When you have a plus sign, like I do here, and there's no number in front of that plus line, like a number 3 or 2 that multiplies through the parentheses, you can just get rid of that other set of parentheses. Okay? When you have a set of parentheses like this, a set of operators, it's just not cool to have two operators, a plus and minus together, so they tend to put a little set of parentheses here to separate it. Now, the last thing that you're going to do is simply say, well, combine your x terms, your x squared, always the highest power first, x squared. So you have 5x squared plus a minus 1. That's what that means, plus a minus 1. That would give me 4x squared. So I'm done with the squares. The next thing I do is x's, plain x's, like terms. Minus 6x plus 3x is minus 3x. I'm done with the x's. And the last thing I'll be done with is adding the last numbers. 3 plus 1 is 4. And I'm going to put that right into the computer and see a nice green box. 4x squared. And I have a minus 3x plus 4. Check my answer. Fantastic. That's how you do a horizontal. Perform these operations. Okay, will do. Okay, let's do this. Add these two bundles. Okay, fine. So what I'm going to do is sort of speed this up a little bit. Just understand that this bundle, even though there's two variables in there, it's still a combination. Pluses and minuses bind terms together as one big bundle. And what you need to do is say, well, there's no number that's going to be multiplying into those parentheses, so I'm going to just simply just get rid of the parentheses. 2x squared minus xy minus 5y squared, and you're going to add to that another bundle of terms, another unit, and I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say minus 11. I'm just going to remove those parentheses. Minus 2xy minus y squared. Now, I think this is the first time where we actually saw multiple variables. And the technique is pretty much the same thing. You need to find like terms. Like, I start off with my x's, my x squared. Do you see another x squared? Sure. Now, I really should put a set of parentheses here. Okay, because it's just not cool to have a plus and a minus together, the operators. So you have 2x squared plus a negative x squared. Okay, that's going to give me 9, negative 9x squared. That's what you do there. 2 plus a negative 11 is negative 9. We took care of the squares. I like to cross them out because I don't want to look at them anymore. Let's see. Let's do y squares. Minus 5y squared, minus 11y squared. These two guys are like terms. I would say minus 11y squared. Get rid of this and this. And the last thing is xy. Those are like terms. The same variables, same powers. xy. Nice. Negative 1 minus 2 is minus 3xy. I got to believe that's right. I got to believe that's right. So I'll cross that out and cross that out. And let's see if it's right. That's going to be negative 9 x squared minus 11y squared. That's going to be minus 3xy. Let's just go for it. Don't even think of it. There you go. We got it right. So 2 out of 12. Now, when they say vertically, it's pretty much, they basically say a line. Here's what I'm going to show you. It's better just to show you. Come over here. Don't save. File, new. Okay. Ultimately, it's still combining like terms. They have an 11x squared minus 5x minus 9. Okay, that's the first polynomial, first bundle. And you want to add to that a 16x plus 5. Well, vertically means you align your corresponding terms, your x squares, your x's, your numbers, right below each other, like so. That's what they mean by vertically. Plus 5. It's just easier to identify the like terms when you write it like this. So what you're going to do is add those two polynomials, and you're going to say, well, 11x squared, there's no x squared there, so the end answer is going to have an 11x squared. Some people like this technique better. Minus 5 plus 16 is a plus 11x. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. And let's put that answer in there and see if that's right. 11x squared plus 11x minus 4. Minus 4. Check your answer. Great job. Great job. Now be careful with these, the way these are worded. This is what a lot of people get this wrong because they literally say what they do is they subtract this from this because this is the first polynomial. You got to be careful when you do this. Subtract this polynomial from this and do it horizontally. So if they were to say subtract 7 from 10, you would say 10 minus 7. You see the problem? Subtract 7 from 10 as an example. Subtract 7 from 10, you would say 10 minus 7. Okay, this is the same thing here. So what you want to do is subtract from 3x squared plus 3x. See, that's got to go first. So from this polynomial, from this bundle right here, you want to subtract the first polynomial. So people get that wrong, and I can understand why. So now that I showed you, don't do that. Okay, so and this is a bundle. That's a bundle. Now it's important to understand these parentheses. This is something you got to understand with minuses, minus a whole set of parentheses here. This set of parentheses is not necessary, so I can liberate those terms. It's not necessary because there's no number that's multiplying through in front. There's no number like the number 2 or 3 or minus 1 or whatever that's multiplying through the parentheses. So those parentheses are there just to indicate that that's one bundle of terms. Now this set of parentheses I cannot remove because the number in front of those set of parentheses is a -1. And that -1 has to multiply through. You're subtracting everything on the right. You've got to make sure that you multiply everything by -1. You're subtracting that -4x squared, -6x. A lot of people make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. That minus is important. You have to subtract everything to the right. And that basically indicates, to subtract everything to the right, what that basically indicates is you have to change the sign of everything to the right. Minus a minus is +7. Once you got that down, you can just do your like terms. In fact, what I'm going to do my like terms is I'm going to put my answer right there. Okay? Squares first. 3x squared minus 4x squared is a -1x squared. Don't do -1x squared. It doesn't look right. X minus x squared. The -1 is implied. So we took care of the squares. Now we've got x's. 3x minus 6x is minus 3x. So we took care of the x's, and now we got raw numbers. 5 plus 7 is 12. Plus 12. Hit enter. Fantastic. So you have to understand what's going on with these problems. When you have a minus, if this were a plus, you can just remove the parentheses. Not a big deal. Minus indicates you have to subtract everything inside the right polynomial. Let's do this one here. And that looks like it might take a lot of space. So I'm going to start off nice and fresh. File new. File new. Okay. Okay. Subtract the first guy, the first polynomial from the second. Let's put the 5x squared, excuse me, 5x cubed plus 4x squared. Make sure that's first, plus 2. Now, I could put a set of parentheses there to indicate that that's one unit, one bundle, but I won't because I'm going to have to rewrite that again, and I'm getting lazy. Subtract. Now, this set of parentheses, and let me move it over here. This set of parentheses is necessary, okay, because I'm subtracting the first 9. You've got to be careful with subtraction. That's basically the rule of thumb here when you do these operations. You have to be careful. At addition, you can be cavalier. You don't really care too much because you can't get it wrong. Subtraction is a little bit different. So this set of parentheses is not necessary because there's a minus sign in front of those parentheses. And basically that implies a -1 that needs to be multiplied through the parentheses. Okay? In essence, what you're doing is you're changing the sign of everything to the right. 9x cubed is now -9x cubed. Plus 2x squared is now -2x squared. 6x is now -6x. -8 is now +8. And so focus your eyes on these terms right over here. There you go. Those are the terms that I want to combine. Likeness. Start off with the cubes. 5x cubed minus 9x cubed looks like it's -4x cubed. Okay, so I took care of my cubes. Squares. 4x squared minus 2x squared looks like it's 4 minus 2 is 2, plus 2. Plus 2x squared. Okay, so I took care of my squares. Minus 3x minus 6x looks like it's -9x. Took care of my x's, and the last thing is the numbers 2 plus 10 is plus 2 plus 8. I'm ahead of myself. Is equal to +10 is my answer. And I'm going to go for it. Yeah, great. Green box. Nice. Rice. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this one. Subtract this from that, which means this second polynomial comes first. Now minus the first polynomial. Okay. Understand you're subtracting this entire bundle. Every term has to be multiplied inside that second bundle by a -1. So every term changes its sign. A minus becomes a plus, 5xy. A minus becomes a plus 4x. There you go. That's it. And now what I'm going to do is, that's a number 2 here. That looks like a z. Is look at my terms and combine my like terms right there in that bundle. So I'm going to start off with my squares first. And just go in alphabetical order. X squared comes before y squared. So I'm going to say, let's see. I see an x squared, but I don't see any other x squared on this side, so it doesn't combine with anything. I'm going to write down 9x squared. Okay. So that took care of that guy. Let's see. Minus y squared minus 6y. We got two of them. Those are like terms. Looks like it's minus 7y. Minus 7y squared. Okay. So I'm done with the y squares. Took care of that. And then I guess it got xy's. Minus 5xy plus 5xy. Minus 5 plus 5 is 0xy. 0 times anything is 0. It adds no value to the expression. So I'm not good. It can't, in other words, they cancel out. Don't put plus 0. It'll be marked wrong. Don't do any type of plus 0. Just don't include a term. Then we've got 2 plus 4 is 6. So who would have thought that big mess is equal to this simpler one? Okay, well, come on, let's type it in there. Plus 6. Okay, and I'm going to go for it. That's it. Good job. Halfway done. Halfway done. Okay, so here's what you're going to do now. You're going to not save this, start another virtual piece of paper. All right, go okay. All right, same. This looks like what we just talked about when we subtract. All right. So you need to subtract everything to the right. Minus 5x, you have to change the sign of everything in those parentheses. Minus 5x minus r. So it looks like 2x minus 5x minus r. And from there, you just combine your like terms. X is combined. You got two of those. 2 minus 5. 2 minus 5 is minus 3. X, and that r doesn't combine with anything, so you just leave it alone. Check your answer. There you go. I mean, after what we just went through with those previous problems, this is easy. Remove the parentheses and simplify. Well, okay, we'll do. We'll separate that. Let's get a little closer here. Get some more space. The first set of parentheses is not necessary. It's cosmetic. I call them cosmetic. They're just there to indicate that that's one bundle of terms. One unit. The second set of parentheses are necessary, and the way you get rid of them is by seeing that this is a minus, and we're going to multiply through by -1, changing the sign of everything inside. Minus 4x squared minus 6x. A minus becomes a plus. -2 minus -2 is +2. Now that you got those terms liberated, you can combine like terms. So what do we got here? We start off with the cubes. I don't see any other cubes there, so I'm going to say 4x cubed. I took care of that. The next thing I see are squares. And I only see one square, so if you only see one term, you just list it, 4x squared. So we took care of the squares. Then we got x's, two x terms. These are like terms. Negative 9 minus 6 is minus 15. Minus 15x, so we took care of all the all the x's, the raw x's. And then we got the raw numbers. 2 plus 2 is 4. Good. I think that would be the answer. I hope so. I can't deal. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Now we got just 4 more and you're done. Oh, this looks like it's complicated. It's not. What they're showing you here is 1, 2, 3 polynomials. 3 bundles. This first set of parentheses is not really... Before you can combine like terms, you've got to remove them from the parentheses. So you got to liberate them, I call it. Liberating the terms. Freeing them up that could be combined with other terms. There's a plus sign here in front of this set of parentheses. Just remove the parentheses. You don't have to even include them. 5x plus 3. But this guy, you just can't remove the parentheses. What you need to do is multiply everything by minus 1. So that gives me minus 4x. And a minus 4 is a plus 4. Now that you liberated the terms, combine likeness. 4x plus 5x is 9x. 9x minus 4x is back to 5x. 5x goes right there. So we took care of all the x's. Now we've got the raw numbers. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. Plus 4. Check your answer. Well done. Just 3 more. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, that looks gross. That does look gross, so that needs a new sheet of paper. File, new. Okay. Let's move this over here. Okay. Let's see. Set of parentheses, no number in front, no plus. It's plus, so I'm just going to write down 8x squared y squared minus 8xy plus 3. Okay. This set of parentheses are necessary. You just have to understand that you have to change the sign of everything inside. Minus 2xy minus 7. And this set of parentheses I can simply remove because there's a plus sign in front. So I'm just going to say, okay, I'll remove it. Minus 11. Let's see if we can put everything in there. Geez, a lot of terms there. Okay, so let me see if I can do this here. I look for the complicated terms first. X squared, y squared, x squared, y squared. We got 8 of them here. 1 of them there. That's 9 of them. 9x squared, y squared. And I'd like to cross them out when I combine them because I don't want to see them anymore. The next thing are x's and y's. X, y, x, y. Negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10. xy, and so I get rid of this, and I get rid of this. And then we got numbers. 3 minus 7 is minus 4. Minus 4 minus 11 is minus 15. You really should double check it, but let's see if... Yeah, that's good. That's good. Just not that so we don't keep the... I'm going to let you do this one. I'm going to let you do this one. After what we just went through, you should be able to bang that out. I'll let you do that one. Oh my God. Let's take a look at this. And it might need a separate sheet of paper. File, new, and we're going to do this, and we're going to move this over here. And don't be too afraid of these word problems. They're pretty much the same as what we had here. What we just did. The total imports of petroleum in thousands of barrels per day in a given year are approximated by this big mess. Okay? Where X represents the number of years after 2005. Okay. The corresponding total of exports is modeled by that polynomial. Write a polynomial that represents how many more 1,000 barrels were imported than exported. In other words, what you want to do is say imports minus exports is how, this expression is what I need to write to answer this question. So write a polynomial that represents how many more thousands of barrels per day were imported than exported. So you take your imports, that's what you took into the country, and exports are what get removed from the country. So just think of it in terms of numbers. If I import 10 barrels and we export 3, the net effect is you still have 7 barrels inside the country. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to import, my imports are given by this big mess. Oh, geez, I wish I had a nice pencil that can do this right. This is your 37x cubed plus 22x squared minus 17x plus this big mother number, 13,654. Okay, minus. So this big bundle, okay, this big bundle is being subtracted by this guy on the bottom here, 9x cubed plus 88x squared plus 37x plus 1111, all ones. That's a bundle. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Understand you're subtracting everything here. You need to change the sign of everything. So minus a minus is going to be 9x cubed minus 88. I'm changing, basically all I'm doing is changing the sign. Minus 37x minus 1111. Now what you're going to do is take the first polynomial up here, subtract this guy in the bottom, all corresponding terms, and you'll have the answer. So negative 37x cubed, 9. So negative 37 plus 9. Okay, remember it's minus and minus, you're adding 9. Just literally look at the signs and just perform the operations. Negative 37 plus 9 is going to be negative 28. Negative 28x cubed. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. So we took care of the cubes. 22 minus 88 is negative 66. X squared. So I took care of the squares. Okay, that's done and that's done. Negative 17 minus, oh, that's a 37. That almost looks like a 2. That's a 37, negative 37. So it's negative 17 minus 37 is going to be 54, minus 54. Let's go here, minus 54x. Okay, so that cancels this and cancels this. And then I'm going to take 13,654 minus 111 should be 12,543. So I'm going to say it's this number here, plus 12,543. 12,543. Okay, I'm going to go for it. Check my answer. Please be right. Yes, I couldn't take it if it was wrong. Oh my God, we're done. Okay, so what we've done is sections 5.4. That's done. You'll do that homework. And then after section 5.4, there is a quiz 5A that you should do as well. Remember, quiz 5A is a little bit of section 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and 5.4. If you've done well on those homeworks, you should do well on the quiz 5A. All right, we'll see you in the next section, 5.5.